Alright, well, let's just start with the very first card, the Kashtira Fenrir. Why is this in this deck, you may think? Because it's a Tearlaments. Why does it fit in here? Well, first of all, he's generally a good card. And obviously, he can search you any Kashtira card. So this means Fenrir searches you the Tearlaments Kashtira. And then you can go on into your, usual plays and do crazy stuff with it. So most of the time, either you have it on your starting hand, then the first thing you're gonna do is always special summon Fenrir first before you special or normal summon or special summon any other monster, because if you control the monsters, you can special summon them. The usual play is if you open with that or with terraforming, activate terraforming, search the Kashtira field spell, activate it. With the Kashtira field spell, you search the Fenrir. Then do special Fenrir and activate Fenrir's effect to search the Tearlaments Kashtira. And then you can go on whatever you want to, depending on what kind of hand you drawed at the beginning. Tearlaments Kashtira, why is this in here? Well, I guess it's pretty self-explaining. To mill a lot of cards. This Tearlaments Kashtira in combination with the Tearlaments Scream is a easy mill 6. You mill 6 cards with those 2 cards alone, because if Tearlaments Kashtira gets special summoned, you can either mill 3 cards of your deck or of your opponent's deck, but obviously you always mill 3 cards of your deck, and with Scream again you can mill 3 cards. So crazy good card, and this card alone, if you use it correctly, can mill up to 5 cards per turn. When it gets special summoned, you can mill 3 cards, and when this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can again mill 2 cards from your deck. So in best case, you mill with those 2 8 cards in one turn, which is still pretty powerful. Danger Nessie has multiple reasons. First of all, it's a dark aqua, and there are not many useful dark aqua monsters besides the Tearlaments. I actually don't know how many. Doesn't matter now. Dark and aqua, I believe there are not so much available. A lot of stuff. There are not many. 10. The whole game right now, as June of 2024, there are only 10 monsters that are dark aqua, and most of them are pretty crap, except the Tearlaments monsters and the best card, but sadly it's banned. So this is basically here for our fusion material, because with Danger Nessie you can special summon the Tearlaments Kaleidohot, because it needs Tearlaments Rhinohot and 2 aqua monsters. Very nice. You can also go with Nessie into Destiny. No, that's not possible, sorry. Into Garuda. 2 monsters with the same type and attribute, but different names. And obviously Incarnate Chimera. So Nessie, very nice. And also, as with all dangers, it's always a nice way to unbrick your hand, like Joe Cocker, Unchain My Heart. That's the Yugi version, the Unbrick My Hand. I swear someone is gonna make a song about that. Unbrick your hand with Danger Nessie. Same thing with Danger Mothman. And that's also why Danger Nessie is here. If it gets discarded, you can search Danger Mothman, and Mothman is just probably one of the best dangers ever, because in this deck particularly, it's always a win-win situation. If you don't discard it, free special summon. If you discard it, you can draw a card and then have to discard a card, and the discarded card counts then as discarded by card effect, so your Tearlaments will trigger, and also Squamata. Right, so much for Nessie. Dangerous, malicious, back to free. Oh yeah, very nice. Some think, malicious to free, what does it change? It doesn't change anything. It changes a lot. Malicious to free is crazy. Yeah, I guess most of you are familiar with it. You can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon 1 Destiny Malicious from your deck. So you can, if you do it right, you can special summon 2 Malicious now in 1 turn, because he's not once per turn. And this is just sick in combination with Cross Sheep, in combination with your Link climbing, you know, you go into Cross Sheep, and in the most ideal way, Cross Sheep already points to a fusion monster. So you special summon your Malicious into a zone Cross Sheep points to. Then Cross Sheep activates because it's pointing to a fusion monster. You can special summon another monster from your grave. Then you link Malicious away with Cross Sheep into Sprite Sprint. For example, use the Sprite Sprint effect to send a level 2 to the grave, and then you're probably able to fusion summon. And then you can again use Malicious effect in the grave to special summon another one, you know, if you want to. Or you skip the Sprite Sprint play and go straight into Appaloosa then, you know, with additional Malicious wherever. So yeah, he's just way too good. And also the play with the Tearlaments, he's of course another use, you know, to fusion summon with Malicious and the Merly, Sharon and Hafnis into Dangerous. Of course, you may think now, but wait a minute, he gets shuffled back into the deck. Yes, that's true, but we don't care, because Destiny Hero Dangerous effect is you can discard 1 card, send 1 Destiny Hero monster from your hand or deck. So you see, because this can sometimes a bit bricky, but you can unbrick it with Dangerous or with Sharon or with Nessie or with Mothman, you know, or with the standard fusion, you know. And then you Destiny to the graveyard, and then you can special summon your Destiny Hero Malicious from the grave. And Dangerous is level 6, Malicious is level 6, and this is easy access to Beatrice. And Beatrice is just very nice overall. Yeah, so much to Malicious. And obviously you can go with Malicious into Muttering of the Swamp. Yo. Shadow Beast, well, generally a good card because it lets you draw a card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, and you always want to have this in your graveyard, works great in combination with Squamata, because if Squamata gets sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Shadow monster from your deck to the grave. So these 2 go in very handy, and also these 2 allow us to fusion summon our Winder, El Shadow Winder, and this can sometimes single-handedly win you games easily. If combination with the Tearlaments field spell, you know, it gets boosted to 2700 ATK, so even if he special summons a Bestial with 2500 ATK, he cannot out Winder, and Winder cannot be destroyed by card effects. So he has to banish it or to imperm or whatever first. And if you can't do that, he's pretty much screwed. Yeah, so much for the little Shadow engine. I don't want to call it engine, it's just 2 cards, you know, with 42 Shadow cards. Sharon, I guess, is pretty self-explaining. Great way to unbrick your hand. Again, it mills 3 cards, and Sharon in combination with Scream, again, is a mill 6, you know. And if she gets sent, you can fusion summon. I guess this is self-explaining. Mothman, I mentioned earlier. Also a great way to unbrick your hand, yeah. And yeah, either you special summon it, or each player draws a card and discards a card, and then all your effects trigger again. Rhinoheart, the best normal summon in this deck. Also great if he gets sent to the graveyard. Yeah, and he's level 4 water. So with Rhinoheart and the Mud Dragon of the Swamp, you can go into your Bahamut Shock, and with Bahamut Shock you can make totally awesome, and you have a nice Omni Negate out on the field. So if you see somehow this play possible, you know, you normal summon Rhinoheart, use its effect to send the Tearlaments to the grave, fusion summon with Merly, Sharon, Hafnis in some way, you know, your Mud Dragon. The best way is if you have access to Cross Sheep earlier, you know, and you Rhinoheart is already in the field, and you build with some other monsters, with Malicious or the Denier. You cross sheep, then you're gonna special summon the Mud Dragon in a zone where cross sheep points to. You get even more access to monsters, and then you're gonna Xyz into Bahamut Shock, and then to totally out them, and then you link the rest away for Appaloosa or whatever. So yeah, also very versatile card, and also available for the Kaleido Horde, obviously. Kaleido Modora, well, you know, they're all for a reason at 1. You know, all these cards are limited to 1 for a reason. These are just too good. You know, these 2 are great for your own graveyard. You know, to recycle your cards. These are great to as an interruption for your opponent. You know, to get rid of their cards in the grave. Yeah, they are just too good. You should definitely run that. Some don't play it. It works. You know, I don't say this doesn't work if you don't run them, but it works better if you run them. Anyway, yeah, Hafnis, same thing with Sharon, and a kind of hand trap, you know, in your opponent's turn. Yeah, Denier, also sick in combination now with Malicious being at 3. A free special summon from the grave if you have a Destiny hero in the grave. And if he gets normal or special summon, you can target 1 Destiny hero monster in your field or in your graveyard and place it on top of the deck. No, you can take 1 of your Destiny hero monsters from your deck, graveyard, or that is banished, and place it on top of the deck, or is banished. So if you already special summoned Malicious by banishing him, you can place it on top of the deck and have access to another Malicious. So very nice. King of the Swamp, yeah, the classic one, you know, in here since Kid Kalos got banned most of the time, to go into your rule colors or into Kaleido Horde, because they're also aqua. And another reason is they search your polymerization. And if you run poly, you know, you have to run Guardian Chimera, just a sick card. Best way is if you fusion summon Guardian Chimera via poly by sending 1 of the Tearlaments to the grave, you know, because this counts then as sent by card effect to the graveyard, because fusion poly sends not for cost or whatever, you know, it's it's for card effect. So these will trigger if you use them for fusion summon with poly into Guardian Chimera. And if you have King of the Swamp already in grave because you searched poly via King of the Swamp, so you have King of the Swamp in the grave, you normal summon some monster, doesn't care, and you have a Tearlaments and another card in your hand, you're gonna fusion summon these 3, and then Sharon triggers in the grave, can fusion summon with the King of the Swamp, and there we go. 1 talents, always nice. You can play 2 if you want to. It's a mill deck, so it sucks if it gets milled, so it's just 1. Foolish Burial Goods is in here for Tiwikama, or whatever you need at the moment. For Scream, for Salik, whatever you need to. Terraforming, yeah, for the planets or for the planets. Foolish Burial, great one-off. Always depends on your situation, what's already in your grave. Super polymerization, yeah, it's just, you know, some say this it's not a good card, or in the format, don't use it, it doesn't do much. It does a lot, you know. No one can react to this card. No, neither player can activate card's effect in response to this card's activation. No one can do anything about it. So if your opponent has a crazy board or some crazy boss monsters on the field, you just say, fusion summon them away, I don't care. Yeah. That's why at 3. Yeah, Scream at 3, obviously, you know, it's the most broken card in this deck, because it's every turn mill free as long as you control a Tearlaments monster. It gains so much advantage. Yeah, just way too good. Yeah, the Cash Planet, as I mentioned earlier, Tearlaments Planet, also sick. All fusions monsters get 500 ATK. On activation, you can add to your hand 1 Tearlaments monster. And if a Tearlaments monster is returned to the deck or extra deck, or you control, you know, you can target 1 corner field and destroy it. Nice. Typicama to banish from the grave, to search the field spell, or the Scream, or the Salik, anything that mentions Visa Star Frost. And 2 times the Salik as a monster negate and also as a great extender. How does this work? Works best, obviously, with Kaleidohot, in combination with Kaleidohot, or with one of the small Tearlaments monsters, or with the Kashtira. And it's just everything here is very versatile. But the main play, or the most efficient play, I guess, is you have Planet on the field, this face up on the field, and a Kaleidohot. Your opponent activates a monster effect, you chain Sulik, send Kaleidohot, and then negate it, obviously. And if Kaleidohot gets sent to the graveyard by card effect, which is, you can special summon him back. Then you can shuffle back a card from your opponent back into the deck. And if he gets special summon for the graveyard, you can send 1 Tearlaments card from a deck to the graveyard, and you can fusion summon again, and then the planet triggers again because you fusion summon, and you can destroy a card. It's just crazy. For the extra deck, well, pretty standard, I guess. 1 Guardian Chimera, cannot be targeted as long as you have Poli in the grave, as I mentioned earlier. And where you use the fusion materials, you can destroy 2 cards and draw 1 card, or destroy 1 card and draw 2. So always great. Kaleidohot and Rule Colors are just still way broken. I have no other words for that. They're still crazy good cards. Especially Rule Colors also, it's sometimes this one negate, can win you games, and it also makes you Nibiru proof. Tearlaments Rule Colors can negate the effect of Nibiru. Yeah, just a great card. Yeah, Predator Plant Stepilia classic one. You can negate a monster effect. Dangerous, as I mentioned earlier, to get access to your Destiny heroes, and then finally get access to Beatrice very easily. Garuda, just overall great super poly target, and with a nice effect, and it's also level 6, so you can use it to go into Beatrice also. And if it gets sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card, so always nice. Winder, your plan B or your secret win condition, kind of. You can only attempt to special summon once per turn, each player. And if you have Winder and Rule Colors on the grave, in the field, you negate his special summon, his only special summon he is available. You negate it, and then he can basically do nothing. Mud Dragon, great with the Rhinoheart combination. As I mentioned earlier, to go Bahamut Shark, or into Time Thief Redo if you want to. But Time Thief Redo is always better if you go it with Sharon and some other level 4. Yeah, Beatrice, Foolish Burial as quick effect. I mean, if that's not broken, I don't know. Bahamut Shark only here to get into totally awesome. Time Thief Redoer. It's an extremely strange card because it detaches for effect, and it does not detach for cost, and that's crazy about this card. So main thing is you attach or you special summon Time Thief Redoer with Tearlaments Sharon and some other level 4 monster, Bodora, Reinhardt, Mothman or whatever, and then as a quick effect you detach Sharon, and then Sharon gets actually activated, because it was sent to the graveyard by card effect and not by cost. And you can fusion summon again. So there's a quick effect fusion summon in your opponent's turn, basically. Yeah, if your grave is set up correctly, obviously. Totally awesome. Omni negate, destroy it, and set it on your field. Very nice. Appaloosa, self-explaining. Monster negates. Sprite Sprint to send your Merely, obviously, from your deck to grave, and then fusion summon again. And if you have a Xyz monster on the field, you can also make use of the second effect. And Cross Sheep is just, also great great card. With the fusion monsters, you know, gain a lot of advantage. If a monster is special summoned in a zone and already a fusion monster points added, you can special summon another one from your graveyard. And the best way is Cross Sheep in combination with Rule Colors or with Kaleido Hot in your opponent's turn. He tries to special summon something, you negate it with Rule Colors, send it to grave, Rule Colors, then it gets special summoned again, you special summon Rule Colors in a zone Cross Sheep points to, and then you're gonna use its effect. And the best way is if you have a Rhino Hot in your grave, you're gonna special summon Rhino Hot, then Rhino Hot's effect triggers to send a Tearlaments monster from your deck to the grave, and you can fusion summon again, and so on and so on. You know, yeah, you know it. So much to that. What's the hell that shit down here? I'm always thinking, should I take out the Shadows with the Destiny Heroes? Or more Destiny Heroes then? Because the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is also crazy good in combination with the Cross Sheep again. Because you can trigger this every turn. And if you have a Rhino Hot in the grave, you can trigger Cross Sheep every turn and special summon the Rhino Hot. It's just, you know, after 1-2 turns, you go absolutely crazy. The downside was, these two are great alone in the grave, of course. The downside is always this card. Because, of course, I can special summon the Phoenix Enforcer with the normal poly. I can do that, yeah, but the more efficient way is Fusion Destiny. A little bit of an upside, if this is a word, is I could possibly also special summon the Dangerous with this. I don't know, you have to try it. From my feeling, with the Shadows, it works a tiny bit better than with the Destiny Hero package. But sometimes with the Destiny Hero package, it has more kaboom, you know, it has more bam to it. Now it kicks sometimes more ass. This is more like your opponent can't do anything, and with this is like, you know, I kick your ass. Yeah, Gaffer Fusion depends really. It's not bad. It's just, you know, the only thing sometimes I make this is actually not fusion summoning it with the Tearlaments, but just normal summon King of the Swamp, yes, and then use Super Poly and Super Poly some Dark monster from your opponent away and use King of the Swamp as the grapher. But it's just not worth it, you know. The Rule Colors is just way better. Yeah. Anyway, Trivio Verotum, yeah, Super Poly target. Venom Fusion Dragon, Super Poly target. Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, as I mentioned earlier. This is a card, I don't know. It is good, don't get me wrong here, but it's your last summon. So this basically only makes sense if your opponent build a crazy board, you know, if you go second. In my eyes, it just makes sense if you go second or if you have to stall some way. But if you have to stall with Tearlaments, then something went wrong. In some way, you know. It's a great out against the Divine Arsenal Zeus, obviously. But Zeus also doesn't matter to you because he sends to graveyard by card effect, you know, and all your fusion monsters will trigger then. Anyway. Dark is a great choice. I'm always thinking, what should I take out for Dark? But the extra deck is already so tight, I just don't know. I really want to play Dark, but I don't know what to cut here, actually. I could cut the Poly with the Calling Chimera and play Dark instead, but anyway. And Fusion Destiny, yeah, as I mentioned before. Yeah, so much that of the in-depth explanation of this Tearlaments deck, you know. For me, it works well. I like to play it this way very much, but I don't say that this is the optimal build or that this would fit everybody's playstyle, you know? As I always say in my videos, take this as an inspiration, take this as kind of education, you know, to learn some plays or some tactics you probably did not have in your mind, but don't blindly copy it and just go with it, you know, make it your own. Yeah. Anyway, this video will get way too long, so I will cut it short. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about it, and see you next time. Goodbye.